Good morning, welcome back to the DanGoesOutdoors YouTube channel. If you're new around here, ever think about subscribing. I make a lot of videos. But yeah, today I'm out pike fishing. I really wanted to be barbel fishing on the rivers, but it has just rained all week. It's been nice and mild, but then come today, there's a frosty morning, the rivers are up, so I'm pike fishing at my favourite gravel pit. And I'm doing things a little bit differently to what I normally do. As you know, controversially if you like, I do a lot of free lining. I believe it's perfectly safe the way I set it up, which I've explained in a few videos, so I'll leave a link below to them. But some people think differently, and I've been getting a few comments about, you know, alternative methods I could try, and one of them is popping up dead baits. I mean, it was sort of put to me as if I've never heard of it before, but I actually used to do it loads years ago. I used to pop up dead baits all the time. So I thought I'd do that today instead, and we'll just compare and contrast the methods and get an idea of which one is more effective and whether or not one's safer than the other. Right, I'm going to put you on my chest rig because popping up baits is a big faff compared to free lining. So I'm going to put you on a chest rig so I can talk to you while I'm setting up. Here we go. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me now, Paddy? Classic. But yeah, I'm setting up my rig now, and this is one of the reasons I prefer free lining. Setting up now, such a faff when all I have to do before is just tie one knot. Now I'm messing about tightening a ledger rig up, and of course with that comes the different bite indication, everything, which takes longer to set up. Pull that down. I'll try and get as much of it ready at home, so all my chasers and everything are pre-tied. I keep my box nice and organised, even do my dead baits at home, get the pop-ups all ready, so when I am on the bank it's just a simple case of putting it all together, but it still takes a lot longer. So the reason I'm doing this is not because I think this is more effective than free lining, I actually don't, and not because I think this is more safe than free lining. I think they're just as safe as each other. But I want to make a video that's a little bit more interesting for you guys. I don't want to just do the same thing over and over again. By the time this comes out, it'll probably have been 2 or 3 weeks since my last video here, and I would literally just be repeating myself because the conditions are almost the same as last time. And yeah, I'm sure we'll get similar results if I just did the same thing. Oh, that's a bit tight. So at least it's a bit different for you guys, and people who haven't popped up dead baits before might learn a thing or two. So 5 minutes. Whoa, I got a hell of a load of geese coming over. You seen all these? Right, top tip, don't look up when this happens. Keep your head down. Trust me, man. Right, we're back. So there's my rig all set up. It's a bit of a faff, and it's a bit like a drunk chick at a party. You sort of look at it and you think, oh, what a mess. Just gonna chuck my rig out, relatively short range. When I was here a couple of weeks ago, all the fish I was getting were just a few rod lengths out, so we'll just give it a bit of an overhead lob. Yeah, actually quite a firm drop there, which is a good thing. Because I'm not free lining, I do need to worry about the weed. My bait won't just settle on top of whatever's down there. The lead will drag it down into it. I'll show you a couple of tricks later for getting around that. But yeah, you do have to keep it in mind. There we go, that's my rods out. Admittedly, I'm not using my preferred method, but I'm still pretty confident. I'm sure this will work. I've baited up a couple of spots, and now I'm going to fish this one in the morning and the other one in the afternoon and just see what happens. Maybe we'll get a few jacks, and what I'm actually thinking is maybe it's like carp fishing, where often when you carp fish, the bigger carp take pop-ups, or at least you catch less small fish on pop-ups. I wonder if it's the same pike fishing. Maybe big pike will take a pop-up bait, whereas jacks might figure it out a little bit because, you know, they're a smaller animal so they can see it in more detail. I don't know, just a little theory of mine, so we'll see what happens today. Oh, here we go. I think we might be getting a take on the left-hand rod. Yep. Right, let's wind down, see if we can catch this fish. We're in. Get them hooks in. So, oh, it's bigger. I think this is bigger than your average jack. Come on. Also, there's a lot more gubbins on the rig to get stuck in the weed though, so just gotta take it easy. Ooh. Ooh, man. Oh, it's pulled me other clip out. That's annoying. That's not another take, by the way, guys. It's my fish stuck in the other line. Oh, Jesus, that's a good fish. I'm just not going to worry about that other rod. I'm just going to land this fish, sort the tangle out later. Oh, that's a good one. I'll take that. Nice. Could this be a gravel pit double? And she's in. Popped up mackerel. Come on. Whoa. Now for this lake, this is a good fish. It's really lively. Moment of truth. A double on here is actually quite a nice fish, so let's find out. 12 and 11 ounces. That's actually a nice fish for here. And so far this season I've caught, what, 3-4 double figure pike? That's pretty good for me. There we go, a lovely fish. 12-11, brilliant. I'm so happy with this. Don't get many doubles here, lots of jacks, so it's great when a big female finally comes along. Wonderful. Right, I'll flip it round and see the other side. There we go. I think this one's got room to grow as well. It feels a little bit hollow. I think that this fish, 15-16 pounds at the right time when it's full of food and full of spawn. Beautiful though. In this winter light, those fins look incredible. Right, a couple of pics for Instagram and we get it back. Well, I don't think this fish is going to take long to recover. It's really lively in the fight, in the net and on the mat. You might have noticed recently I've stopped holding big fish up by the jaw at all. It's just can't be good for them, putting all their body weight. I think for little jacks I think it's alright, but once they get over 10 pounds, holding all that weight on their neck essentially, can't be good for them. So I hold them more like a carp these days, and I don't know, maybe it's better for them. Hold her there for a moment, one last look. This water is freezing. Are you ready? Oh, you're giving it the big one earlier. Oh, yeah. One last moment. You ready? Off she goes. Probably one of the biggest pike in here, that one. Oh, lovely. Well, don't you hate it when you're right? I said popping up baits might lead to a bigger fish, and there it is. 12 pound 11 ounces, which is quite a big fish for this lake. I'm sure there are some bigger ones in here. Carp anglers keep telling me they've seen big pike, but they always look bigger in the water. And to be fair, a lot of the big catches were a few years ago now, and things have happened since then. Other predators have come along. You know who I'm talking about. But anyway, chuffed to bits with that. So let's do the rig. Let's get riggy with it. And normally I would say, oh, it's really simple, this rig, but truth be told, this one isn't. It's actually a little bit complicated. So we'll run through it and explain it as we go. So there's a couple of different ways of popping up dead baits. You can stick a balsa stick down the gob, that'll provide buoyancy, or you can do what I've done here, which is I've used a stringer needle to pull some line through the dead bait, which I've attached my little poly ball on the end there. You can actually attach a poly ball to your trace if you like, but then I just think it's just more to get in the way. It's not as subtle as this. That's one of my big things about popping up baits, is that the rig becomes a bit messy, a bit, you know, a bit all over the place. But yeah, it obviously works, you know. So that's how I do it. Polyball on the end, line threaded through. So one hook in the tail. You do need quite grippy baits, if that makes sense. So mackerels, blueies, things that have got a really strong wrist to the tail, they're what's needed for this. Because if your bait comes off and your whole buoyancy system's come off as well, it needs to stay on the trace. Running on my trace, I'll put a quick link. Just something that I can tie that tag end of line to. Now you can, if you want, pre-make your little pop-up sections with wire. But I've just found that it's really hard to judge the size of your bait and get the length of wire perfect every time, because I want that polyball to stay in the mouth of the fish. But once I've got the line through the quick link, I just tie a load of overhand knots to secure it in place. Quite difficult to do once your hands are all greasy and oily from handling a dead bait, but you know, we get there in the end. Put my tag end in my bag. Don't leave any litter, even if it's just an inch of line. So there we go. That's my pop-up section, or pop-up hook bait, secured to my trebles. I thought I was talking about a carp rig there. And the lead system's a little bit different as well. So I've got my normal 18 inches of trace, a bead there, well, it's like an angled sleeve, and a big eye swivel that my lead runs on. But to make this bait pop up further, I've got 3 feet of line to my 3-ounce weight. So now the weight will go to the bottom and the bait will pop up off that. Not exactly 3 feet, because remember it's pulled back towards us, but it just helps to get it up above the weed. And what I'm doing is I've got one on 3 foot and I've got one just off the lead, so I've got one close to the bottom and one a bit higher. Does mean though that you've got to know your venue and only cast into areas where there's low lying weed. If a weed's too high, it's like any other rig, it'll just disappear. But yeah, there it is. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time to set up, but it's caught us a bigger fish, so maybe I shouldn't complain so much. Right, let's get it out there. So here's the rig. It's a bit of a pig to cast, so you've got to be really smooth about it. Feather the line as it goes in and stop it just before it hits the water. That'll separate your lead from your hook bait. And actually the fact that there's quite a distance between them, they tend to sort of go like a bit of a helicopter rig in the sky. So yeah, it doesn't tangle as much as you might think, as long as you cast it well. We've hit the time of day where I'd normally move swims and go to my other baited spot, but unfortunately someone's just moved into it, so you know, they're probably going to catch now for pike fishing. I hope it's not one of the 2 anglers that saw me baiting up this morning has moved onto my spot, you know, but who knows, doesn't look like it, to be fair. But anyway, I've still caught from here, so I'm happy staying here for a little bit longer. But yeah, I'll be keeping my eye on that spot, and if he moves away, I'm jumping in there quick. Since it looks like I'm staying here, what I'm going to do is just rebait the swim a little, just with 3 or 4 bits of fish, and recast my rods. And I'm going to change the hook baits a bit. If I've got whole mackerels, I'm going to take the head off. My bluey, I'm going to put more holes and things in it, get some more scent out there, and just try and make the most of this spot while I'm in it. Here's my mackerel, so I've taken the head off, put a new polyball and everything in there, and it kind of looks like the polyball's the head of the bait. It looks pretty cool, that. I think that might work. So here's my other rod. Haven't shown you this one yet. Same principle, just a popped up bluey, got the polyball at the end there. But on this one, I'm just fishing it straight off the lead, got a 6-inch ledger link there. So this will be up just the length of the trace, or so, about a foot or 2. So So we're late into the afternoon now, and realistically I've only got maybe an hour and a half's more proper fishing time left. I keep looking at that guy up the bank, seeing if he's going to move or go home. Often in these cold winter days people just give in. He must be looking at me like, why does that bloke keep staring? Yeah, I really want to be up there. But, you know, it's now later in the day with the sun going down and the water getting a little bit darker. Maybe the fish will come on the feed. Last time I was here, it took until later on in the day to catch 3 fish. So I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to stay in this spot. If that guy doesn't go in the next sort of half hour, then I've missed my chance really. I'm going to have to just stay here. But I don't mind. Let's just see what happens. That's it for us, I'm afraid. Probably got another 15-20 minutes of fishing time left, so I thought I'd best say goodbye to you now. Yeah, what conclusions can I draw from today? Well, first of all, thank God we caught that fish, because I'd be spitting my dummy out if we didn't. Believe me, I'd be like, well, popping up baits doesn't work at all. But you know, it does work. I knew that all along, and isn't it interesting? It caught me a bigger fish. Actually got me thinking that maybe what I should do is put one bait out there popped up like a big mackerel or something, leave that static, and then free line around that with another bait, because it sort of felt like today I shouldn't cast around as much because these rigs make much more of a commotion when they hit the water, so I don't really want to scare the fish away. Do I think this is safer than free lining? Absolutely not at all. If anything, the bite indication is better when free lining. When I got that bite, the rod was nodding away, I could see the line moving, but not a lot was happening at the rod end. Whereas when I'm free lining with a cart bobbin, that's going up and down like mental if something like that was happening. So yeah, there's that to think about as well. But brilliant day's fishing. I'm sad I couldn't move up the lake because I never fished like this. I can't remember ever pike fishing here and only fishing one spot all day. I just don't do that at all. I always move around. But I couldn't move. There's actually 3 or 4 other anglers on, which doesn't happen a lot here in winter. So I hope those lads caught. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what the pike fleece say in the comments this week. But yeah, cheers guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and good luck out there.